Hello, I'm Robert Kelly, and welcome to the Record All Monsters Gargantuan Gamera Giveaway Part 2. Break here. Hi. First of all, Courtney sends her apologies. It's her turn to not feel so great this week. She has decided to sit this one out, which understandable. She recorded the outro for me when I was feeling about the same. So, on a similar note, I want to thank everyone who wished me well or contributed to the GoFundMe for my knee. I was able to get the shot earlier this week, and it's already helping a lot. So, that said, all the niceties out of the way, I know what you're here for. You're here for the Gargantuan Gamera Giveaway Part 2, where you find out if you won. Now I have here the names of the entrants on 2 sheets of paper. There are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The total of 10, actually. 10 entrants from across our 3 social media apps that we are on. So I'm going to be cutting the names out live. So first of all, I want everyone to know I really appreciate the show's support from this. We had multiple people enter on all 3 platforms. That increases your chance. I have also written by your name what platform I got it from. So if you entered all 3, there are 3 strips with your name, and if the one I got from Instagram will have an IG next to it, the one I got from Twitter will have a T next to it, and the one I got from Facebook will have an FB next to it. Now, you may remember last time I said that we had walked back the first, second, and third prizes down to a first prize. Well, some fortuitous circumstances have allowed us to once again offer first, second, and third. So I'll go over the second and third prizes once I finish cutting these out. You will remember that the first prize is the complete Gamera Showa era on DVD from Shout Factory, used but in very good condition, as well as Mill Creek's Blu-ray release of the Gamera Heisei Trilogy on Blu-ray, also used but in very good condition, and a t-shirt of your choice, or you can pick the concert or the contest winner t-shirt, and a certificate entitling you to the love and respect of your peers. That's the first prize. Second prize, we have Gamera War of the Monsters DVD set. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Gamera movies on it from the Showa era. They're the AIP versions. They are not the best picture quality, but you can watch the movie and it's still a lot of fun. These are the cheesiest versions available. You can see the 2 discs in here. And that was a fortuitous coincidence that came into my possession in time to make it the third prize. Another fortuitous coincidence was this excellent Sons of Kong DVD set. It has 10 public domain gorilla movies, including The Ape, Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, The Ape Man, Bride of the Gorilla, The Savage Girl, The White Gorilla, Law of the Jungle, White Pongo, and Nabonga. So, that will be the third prize. And this is pretty cool because it has a little pop-up diorama. If you follow me on Instagram, I have my own copy of this. and I have that little pop-up diorama on my desk at work. It looks cool. So, that is our third prize. Here, as promised, is my Hellboy lunchbox, which I'm going to put all the names in. It's not part of the giveaway. No one is getting my Hellboy lunchbox. It's mine. First name, going in. Second name, going in. This must be riveting for our audio-only listeners. Third name, going in. Fourth name, guess what? It's going in. Fifth name's going in. 6. In. 7. In. I said 7 like that because it was a reference to the Coneheads movie. Dan Aykroyd. Here's the 8th. When he's pretending to have a social security number. Goes, 7. Here's the 9th one. And finally, the 10th one. You can see, if you're watching, all 10 are in here. I'm gonna close my Hellboy lunchbox. I'm gonna rattle it around. I'm gonna throw it off screen. It's going to be thrown back to me. It has the BPRD on the back. There's Liz Sherman. There's Abe Sapien, Dr. Johannes Krauss, and Roger the Homunculus. And now we'll draw our third place winner from the Hellboy lunchbox. Our third place winner of the fabulous Sons of Kong DVD box set is from Twitter at Benyo_Scarza. You get this guy. Congratulations, Ben. And also, Ben, I'll thank you by name for reaching out about the GoFundMe. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your thoughts. And thank you. Thank you. Second prize. Gamera. War of the Monsters box set. Goes to... from Twitter at ThatMissChris. Chris Cree. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy your prize. Now, first prize, the big one. All this and more. We're gonna reshake it again. Off screen. Back to me. And the winner from Facebook, Ben Garza. You get it all. We'll send you each of the winners a message the day this episode comes out to get your shipping information. And Ben, to find out your t-shirt size and which shirt you would prefer. And yeah, that's it. Congratulations to the winners. Now stay tuned. We're going to an ad, and after this we'll have an impromptu quick look at the Daimajin Trilogy. Hello, I'm Robert Kelly, host and writer of Record All Monsters, and this is an ad for Anchor. That's right, it's an ad for Anchor, and if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. I was really intimidated at first to start this show until I heard about Anchor, and there were a few things that made me feel more at ease to begin. First of all, it's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so that it can be heard on a number of platforms, including whichever one you're listening to it on right now. You can even make a little money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And even their ads are easy. The mandatory call to action is something I can state freely. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Doesn't that feel good? This has been an ad for Anchor, and I've been Robert Kelly, host and writer of Record All Monsters. So, here at the end of the Gargantuan Gamera giveaway, which I'm recording this before we actually pull the winner, so I don't know who that is yet, but this will come after. Anyway, I wanted to present this quick look at Daimajin. It's going to be a little different from how we normally do the quick look, since it's covering 3 movies. What's going to happen right now, thanks to our listener Ben, he sent links to the films, and also thanks to another listener who sent me the information about the Arrow video, having it, John C., about Arrow Video having it on their streaming service and the new Blu-ray box set. So I'm using the links Ben sent me. I have ordered the Arrow Video box set, so thank you, John, for that. And I'm going to be sitting here watching Daimajin, then Return of Daimajin, then Wrath of Daimajin, and I'll give y'all a quick little rundown of what I thought after each film. That said, here we go. Daimajin. Okay, so I've just finished Daimajin. It was very good. Really, very good. A couple of things that stood out to me. This is again kind of a Clash of the Titans-ish story. Deposed son of a lord who was assassinated, coming back to reclaim his title. He has a sister this time, and she's really the driving force of the narrative. Her pleas for mercy on the monster, or for her brother, to the monster, who is one aspect of it. It seems a dual aspect God, who lives above the village and either protects or destroys it based on its whims. And that monster is Daimajin, who seems to be one side of the god Shino. There's a couple of kids in this movie. They don't have a whole lot to do. It reminded me a lot, like The Magic Serpent, it is a Chambara film, first and foremost. There's no ninjas in this, there's samurai. And I really enjoyed it. And I'm curious to see Return of Daimajin. One thing I do want to say real quick is this has a score by Akira Ifukube, who is most famous for his work on the Godzilla movies. It's undoubtedly Ifukube, and this score just sounds like what you think of. My main issue with Ifukube, who is a great composer, and I can never come up to his level in terms of any music I could write, but I find him a bit repetitive. And his Daimajin music, while powerful, about halfway through he starts repeating the themes again, and it's not so much in the way of a leitmotif until the end. But just good. All good. This whole thing is good. So now we're gonna watch Return of Daimajin. Okay, so I just finished Return of Daimajin, and I liked it a lot. It's basically a remake of the first one, but it's more spectacular. The effect sequences are better. There's still just the one big one at the end, but it's more spectacular. And while Daimajin himself is... Well, the theology behind him is much clearer this time. There's no like, oh, there's this god keeps this god in check and they live in the mountain, and while that stuff is cool, it's much more interesting to me that it's just Daimajin's our god, he lives on this island, and you don't want to piss him off. And it also, as opposed to the 10 plus years that happened in the first movie, this one, it's just like a few days. So the differences aside, it is pretty similar. Of course, the differences aside, it's pretty similar. What am I talking about? But I did like it, and I probably would throw this one on of the two so far more often because, again, it is more spectacular. It's a good one to have on just like as a lead up to doing the dishes. It's about 10 minutes shorter than the first one, but I'm about to watch Wrath of Daimajin, the third one. This is probably the one I'm most excited about, just because it's supposed to be the most different of the three. So, let's find out. Okay, so I just watched Wrath of Daimajin, and it is very different in a lot of ways from the first two. Has a completely different story, despite beginning the same way with a feudal lord exploiting people. One thing I liked more about this one was my favorite for sure. One thing I liked more about it was its focus on common people. The first two, the heroes are deposed aristocrats. And this one, the heroes are four peasant boys who, whose fathers and older brothers have been kidnapped to mine sulfur for an evil lord. He's probably the most over the top, but we don't spend as much time with him as we do with the other evil lords in this series. Also, a note on that. All three evil lords have a symbol that's very close to the Rebel Alliance symbol from the Star Wars movies, and I can't help but thinking that had to have been an influence. It's a little different in each one, but in the first two, in the second one specifically, it looks a lot like it. And this movie would have been on TV in the late 60s. The first two movies would have been on the TV in the late 60s. Third one didn't get a US release for a long time until it came out on video. And they used the international dub there instead of AIP doing their own, which AIP released the first two straight to TV in the late 60s. 67 or 8, I want to say. But this one was my favorite. It's great, beautiful, snowy sets. The story is, again, because it's focused on the peasants, I find it to be the most compelling story of the three. It's almost like there's very little connection. There's no connection between all three movies except that Daimajin is in them. So I almost feel like the Dai Studios gave three different directors the same concept, and they each had a different take on it. It's almost like variations on a myth, like variations on Cinderella. I come back to Cinderella a lot. In the Scottish version, she becomes a scullery maid and leaves her ring in the prince's porridge, and in the French version, she leaves her glass slipper behind, and then one version, her fairy godmother is the ghost of her mom in a haunted tree. And stuff like that, these little variations. It's essentially the same story. The people are oppressed. They pray to a mostly wrathful God who sees justice in their cause, and swoops in to save them. Literally in this one, he swoops in to save them. Daimajin is predecessed in Wrath of Daimajin by a hawk. And I think that's a pretty cool touch. I have ornithophobia. I'm very scared of birds. But I had warning. I knew that there was a bird, a very violent bird in this movie, and it is a violent bird, make no mistake. But it makes it feel more fleshed out. It makes it feel more, the mythology with it, feel more real. While I'll still probably throw on Return of Daimajin more often, because it's the lightest of the three. This one is my favorite. It's kind of like if 80s Spielberg made a children's kaiju movie set in feudal Japan. This is also the only movie, I think, where no one gets crucified in this series. There are 2 crucifixions in the first one. Well, Daimajin has a great sense of ironic justice. And the bad guys in the first 2 movies try to crucify people, the heroes, and Daimajin crucifies them, like mirroring the way they wanted to kill their opponents. So that was very fun, interesting. Not only that, in the first one, Daimajin pins his victim to the cross with a spike that they had earlier used to try and destroy him that was nailed into his head while he was a statue. I recommend all 3 of these movies. I know most people won't agree with me about Wrath of Daimajin being the best one, but in my opinion it is. Most people seem to like the first one best of all, though we all seem to agree that the second one is weakest. But if you like that one best, more power to you. Yeah, Daimajin. Check it out. It's interesting. He does evolve a little over the course of the series, from just purely wrathful, having to be begged to stop his revenge in the first movie after he kills the bad guy. He keeps killing people, and he has to be persuaded to stop. And in this one, after he kills the bad guy, he stops himself and acknowledges the kids and then disappears. Another very interesting thing about this one is people who die stay dead. I almost didn't expect it. Anyway, next week we have our last full episode of the season, or of the Gargantuas. And the week after that we'll have something special. But this is the end, almost the end of this first season. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And remember that monsters are your friends.